James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network, here with Tucker West, Olympic athlete, member of Team USA's Luge program. So tell us, in 2002, when you saw that Winter Olympics, what about it piqued that interest? What about it inspired you to do what you do today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. To get to that watching in 2002, my family was always kind of Olympic nerds, so we always watched the Olympics. You know, we watched it from opening ceremony to closing ceremony. The TV never went off. And I don't know, that we were watching in 2002 when the Luge race came on, and it kind of caught our eye. It was something different, something we haven't seen before. I myself as a kid was always a speed demon. I loved sledding. I loved skiing. I was always the kid to go to the top of the sledding hill, trying to go as fast as I can. I loved going to the top of the ski mountain, going straight down the ski hill. You know, always in a speed test, trying to go faster, faster, faster. So for me, Luge seemed kind of just like extreme sledding, and it was like this perfect mix of speed and sledding, and this like fine precision. And I was just enamored by it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Naturally, the next day you go out and you try to replicate what you saw on the TV. And obviously, that's kind of hard to do. You can't really hit 90 miles per hour on your little plastic sled in the backyard hill. But did my best. We drug out the garden hose. We even iced down the hill to try to go a little faster. We banked up the curves in the snow with my dad's help with the shovel, and that was all fun and games. But I lived in Connecticut at the time, and it would melt all the time, and that was just kind of frustrating to have to rebuild it and ice it down. The snow wasn't always good quality, so we would always go kind of slow. So after maybe a year of this, my dad and I had this kind of harebrained idea, I would call it, to build a luge track in our backyard. So we went out to Home Depot the next day, bought all the supplies, and over the course of, I would say, 2, 3, maybe 4 months, we prototyped this thing, and we built this whole entire, like, I call it luge track. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see it. But it was essentially just a wooden chute that you would huck yourself down on a plastic sled, and you bang every wall on the way down. But it was luge in the most basic sense. The thing was 800 feet at its longest, and we would go 30 to 40 miles per hour. And, that's where I kind of got my first taste of luge.
Oh, my. I mean, yeah, must have had one heck of a size yard there for the neighbors to not get too mad about it.
Well, they enjoyed playing on it, so, they look the other way.
Oh, cool. So what is the National Sports Academy High?
Oh, National Sports Academy. Yeah, so fast forward a few years. After I played on my backyard luge track for a while, I eventually got old enough where I could try out for the luge team. So I went out to Lake Placid, tried out for the team, and made what was called, at the time, the U.S. Developmental Junior National Team, or something along those lines. It was basically the lowest down team you can make, but it was a start. And on that team, you get to go up to Lake Placid every couple of weeks for about a week or two at a time, and you essentially just train all week long, doing luge, doing your workouts, doing your start training. But you would have to leave school for this, and I was in 7th grade at the time, so it wasn't too much of an issue. I would just get homework from my teachers, and they would send me off. It was just a week at a time, so it wasn't that big a deal. But I did this for about 2 years, and then I made the team after that, which was called the Junior Candidate Team, which essentially meant you were eligible to make the junior national team. And this meant that I would have to do more training, so I would be gone for maybe a month or two at a time, rather than just a week or two at a time. And this is also right in the time where I was making the transition to go to high school. So when I told my local high school what I was doing, and the potential amount of school that I was about to miss, and they essentially told me that I wouldn't be able to do it. I would either have to stop doing luge or go to school. So I really had to choose between the two. And I obviously chose luge, but that kind of left me with the issue. I had to figure out what to do with school. And luckily, there was a school in my class in New York called National Sports Academy, which really catered to elite athletes. It was mainly a hockey school, but they also catered to skiers and some other elite athletes. And the teachers there really were built for kids that would go away for a long time, or elite athletes who, had training that really came first, and then school kind of came afterwards. They kind of knew how to fit it in and help us get it done. So I was just extremely lucky that it happened to be in the same place where I was training and living for these months at a time. So enrolled there and finished out my high school diploma there.
So it sounds like, sports was a big priority at that school, and that they were kind of, like you said, accustomed to being able to accommodate the athletes.
Yeah, that's correct. They were. I mean, I was definitely gone more than most of the other athletes, but it was normal for people to go away on 3 or 4 day weekends for maybe a hockey tournament or a ski race. So the teachers were equipped and willing to help. It was small class sizes. They would always give extra help, and it was really a great schooling system.
So tell us about the impact of your parents on your career. Obviously, your dad with building the Luge track with you, but what other things did they do to make you the athlete you are today?
It really is hard to put into a list all the things that they've done for me. I mean, you name it, and they've done it for me. Obviously, my dad helped me build the Luge track and introduce me to Luge, but I mean, my whole family's been there. They've instilled all of the values I have today. My work ethic, to really not stop working until the job is done. To never pick your head up until you're the best. So you just work until you can't work anymore. And that's kind of what was instilled in me from them. They've had emotional support, mental support. After a bad race, they're there to pick me up. After a good race, they're there to cheer me on. So, I mean, they're there through the thick and the thin, and I'm so incredibly thankful for them. I really don't think I could have made it to where I am in my career without my family.
How do you manage your time for school and Luge and social life? Being in, you're at the Union College?
Yes, I did 3 years at Union College. I'm actually taking classes through the University of Florida right now. But that is a good question. It is hard to manage time. I try to catch up with friends as much as I can from when I get back home, but most of my social life is with just my team. Schooling, I've always kind of found a creative solution. With high school, I found National Sports Academy. With college, I was able to find Union College, which is on a trimester calendar, so I was able to hit one of those semesters every year after my competitive season. And now it was slow going, obviously. So I finished 3 years with them, which equated to 1 year normal person time. So now I'm doing schooling with University of Florida. They have a great online program that lets me do classes while I'm on the road. So now things are going a little bit faster, but it's still kind of hard to balance competing overseas and getting all the work done. So it's definitely long work days, but in the end, I get to do what I love. I get to travel the world, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
In 2012, you and Chris won the singles title. I don't know if it was like a co-held title or like it was a draw, but either way, and you'll be able to probably elaborate on that. How important was that to USA Luge program?
That was the national championships. We did. It was kind of cool. National championships are over a 4-run race. Chris and I don't know if you know, but Luge is timed to the thousandth of a second. So over 4 runs, 4 miles of ice, Chris and I tied to the thousandth of a second, which was kind of cool on its own. But I don't know. I think it was big for the organization to show that there's finally depth in the field. For the past few years, they have been struggling to kind of get medals on the international scene. It was a young team. They had a lot of retirements. Chris was good. He had some medals of his own, but there wasn't really much depth to the team. So for me to come up and kind of co-hold that title with him showed that there was depth in the team, that there was an up-and-coming younger team that was ready to kind of take the reins. And I think over the past 4 years, over this past quad, we've really showed that although we're a young team, we can really hold our own over the world. We've in the women's category, we've had multiple medals. Aaron's won an Olympic medal. In the men's category, we've had multiple World Cup medals. We have even more medals beyond that. In the doubles category, we have World Cup medals. In the relay, we have a World Championship medal, World Cup medals. So, the depth is being built and the team is getting faster and faster, even though we are young, but we are getting better every year.
Tell us a little bit about Chris. What type of competitor, what kind of training partner is he?
Yeah, Chris is a great competitor. He's very emotionally intelligent. He could, whether he had the best day of his life or the worst day of his life, he's always happy and he's always looking to get better. So that's something that I've kind of tried to build my career off of watching that, is to try to, take notes off of that and try to be more emotionally intelligent like that. And also, I think it's helpful that we've been so close to each other for the past couple of years that, we've been able to kind of inch our way up together. It's our competitiveness with each other that has helped us kind of succeed more and more each year. And Chris is just an incredibly hard worker. I mean, he's spending hours in the gym, hours in the start house. He always is going over video, so he's just a great role model for some of us younger guys to look up to.
So basically you've pushed each other over the years and kind of that whole metal sharpens metal kind of thing?
Exactly, yeah.
Excellent. In 2012, or 2014 in Sochi, Russia, was that a good learning experience? What did you take away from that?
It was a good learning experience. I was young at the time. I was 18. I was the youngest male to qualify for the U.S. Luge team at the time. So for me, I was a little bit of an underdog coming in. My success was making it to the game, and I was just thrilled to be there, and I was there to have a good time. I really, looking back, and I really didn't have a shot at a medal. But I was just there to try to have a good performance and try to get experience under the world's biggest spotlight, essentially. So being in Sochi, I consider myself incredibly lucky to have that experience, because now I know what it's like to compete in the Olympics, what it's like to be in front of all those TV cameras, what it's like to have all that pressure on you, and really how your body's going to react when it comes down to one of the biggest races of your life. So the first one's always the hardest, and that's out of the way, so hopefully the second one will cause for less butterflies and have an even better performance moving forward.
You've been consistently solid at Lake Placid, winning some medals there. Is it the home field advantage? Is it the fans? Is it knowing the track? What really helps you at that track?
I think it's certainly a home field advantage. I mean, you have to remember I'm still very young in my career, so there's many of the tracks that we go to I don't have a ton of runs on, so I'm not extremely comfortable with. But in Lake Placid, I have thousands upon thousands of runs. This is where I grew up, so I'm comfortable with the track. I can really lay my head back and just not look and really just kind of know what I know how to do. So, if anything, it shows my potential, if you will, for when I get comfortable on the rest of the tracks. But you're right, Lake Placid definitely does have a bit of an advantage just because it's where I grew up. It's what I know and love, and it's how I learned the sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's true with, any other sport. I mean, there's a reason why the Cavs win more games at home, or the Packers, or you name it. I mean, it's just nice to be at home and feel comfortable. So that makes sense.
Yep.
That you're going to do better at Lake Placid. And with 2018 coming up, and of course going to South Korea, were you more excited, or was your family more excited hearing that you were going to be back in the Olympics?
I think my family was excited and I was relieved, if that makes sense. Obviously they're excited for me, but for me, I think for all the athletes, the qualification process, it's just extremely stressful and brutal. Even maybe more so this year with the World Cup medals and even World Championship medals to our name. There's definitely that added stress of, you're almost expected to make the team, but at the same time, it's not a walk in the park to make it onto the team. So it was relieving to make the team, and I'm still kind of getting over that relief process. I think once that passes, I'll be extremely excited.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. That, I mean, you got that feel you've already been there once. You want to be able to build on what you've done, but you have to get back to be able to build on it. So, that makes a lot of sense that there would be some relief. Who's going to go watch you over there in South Korea?
My whole family, my mom, my dad, and my 2 sisters.
Tell us about the impact that your coaches have had on your success. With it being an individual sport when you're playing it, but obviously there's a lot more than that goes into it.
Yeah, the coaches have been very, very helpful. I mean, they help in pretty much all aspects of our sport. Banks Walden, who is a new add-on within the past 2 years, he's an assistant coach, has helped immensely with our start programming and our start technique. So he's been helping over the summertime with that, and I think you've seen all of the U.S. team get extremely fast on the start. This year, my start is faster than ever, so I have him to thank for that. Bill Tavares is the head coach. He's great at keeping us next level. Luge man Nick is another assistant coach. He's great with our sled setups. He's really dialed in our sleds over the past few years to make it one of the more competitive sleds in the world. So we really do have a dream team of coaches that we're taking to the Olympics. And, I mean, these guys, they help us in pretty much, we live with these guys. They help us on the track, off the track, and, we're thankful to have these guys.
Sponsor-wise, is it just Team USA sponsors, or do you have your own sponsors? And if so, who are they for you or the team?
So for me, it's just the Team USA Luge sponsors that sponsor the team. I don't currently have any personal sponsors, but the team's big sponsors are Norton Saint-Gobain, which is our primary sponsor. They provide sandpaper and abrasives, which we use to polish our steels. And they also provide us with engineers that help us, fine-tune our sled and really get the specifics of the runners a little bit faster. Another big contributor for us is Dow Chemical, who is also a sponsor of the Olympics, half and chance. But they also provide engineers who have helped develop our sleds in the past 4 years to bring it to really some of the fastest sleds in the world. So these two sponsors have helped us immensely.
And obviously this next sponsor is kind of be a surprise to most fans that, hear it. But lacrosse balls, I would say they're a pretty good sponsor.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, how many do they chuck down the track?
Oh boy, I honestly I didn't see the count of how many, but there had to be hundreds. It was quite the sight to see.
Oh yeah, I mean that sounds like if there's a YouTube video out there, I want to see that later on the night of, kind of like they do a rubber duck regatta where they put all the rubber ducks in the river and, the first one down wins a prize. I think they won a truck usually, but it sounds like, you all did quite well. You won $500 for the winner, and then they were nice enough to donate it back to the organization, and the organization came away with about 10 grand. I mean, that's awesome to hear that people are stepping up and supporting American sports.
Yeah, we have the best fans in the world. UFC Luge is really a grassroots organization. We're not Major League Baseball. We're not the NFL. We don't have millions of fans, but the fans that we do have are diehard fans. They get up at 3 in the morning to watch each of our World Cups. They support us, by cheering. They support us monetarily. They support us in every single way. So we're incredibly grateful for our fans. We really couldn't do what we do without them.
Fans are wanting to follow you on social media. Where would you recommend them check out?
For me, the best would be Instagram and Twitter, and both of the handles are the same. It's Tucker West 1.
And then, for the team, does the team have a Twitter or Facebook page or Instagram?
Yeah. I think all of their handles are just USA Luge. They also have a Facebook page.
Excellent. Any final thoughts from you about competing in the 28 Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very honored and humbled to have the opportunity to represent the country and represent my friends and family again. And hopefully this time I can improve on my performance from last time. And I'm just really, really excited to do it. And thank you very much for having me on your show.
It's been my pleasure, Tucker. Hopefully we'll be able to have you back on after the Olympics when you got that medal and your Wheaties sponsorship, when you're on the box.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Welcome.